What started in a college radio station in Delaware County has become the phenomenon. This is Monsoon Live. From Wayne to Wallingford and throughout the world, it's Sunday, which means it's time for Monsoon Live right here on YouTube. I am your host, the creator, the fighter in training, Jeffrey Monsoon Mysick. And we hope you guys had a great week. It's been a blast here on the East Coast weather-wise. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, we're going to do a couple shout-outs. But before we get to the shout-outs, we've had computer problems again here. It's not my fault. So we got to work with what we can, okay? So we have the screen behind us. But we want to give a shout-out, 3 shout-outs real quick. Number 1, to our buddy Drew Hartman and his brother. Drew is boxing this Saturday, which means after we air the show, we will find out who wins. We'll cover his fight. He's going against Richard Smith, so good luck to Drew and our buddy Travis, who's going to be in Drew's corner. Number 2, our buddy Jarrell, who's a Hall of Fame, who's part of the Monsoon Life Hall of Fame, who got into the boxing scene. We want to wish him good luck. He had a fight today, on Saturday, so we wish him good luck. And I got to talk about my zombie buddy, John. He's a coworker of mine, but he also dresses up as a zombie. We want to wish him all the best and keep on scaring the folks in the haunted house. But let's go to it. Let's get to the weather forecast. It's time for Weather NG, and let's break it down for you. If you love the weather here on the East Coast, it's going to be great. Today, cool, high of 50. Freeze watch goes into effect. Temperatures for tonight, 32, and the rest of the week, your upcoming week, looks amazing with temperatures in the low 60s to right around and some upper 50s. Great weather, running a little bit up to about 70. So that is Weather NG. Yes, I'm wearing a very interesting shirt. My nieces gave this to me. It says anytime, any place, and at the bottom it says anywhere. So only here do we go there, but we did. All right, guys, let's talk about it. Some boxing news. We had a big fight on Friday, and then we'll go into this weekend's big fights. Number 1, it was Fonfara versus Cleveland in the light heavyweight division. I've seen pieces of this fight. By the way, record-setting number of punches were thrown and landed in this freaking fight. And guess what? Nathan Cleaver's nose got broken. One heck of a fight. So we're going to cover more about that next week as well, because apparently it was the fight of the year. I'm going to have to watch it. But just from what I've heard, it was an amazing fight. And we obviously will be talking about that next week. Another big fight. We've talked about it. Drew Hartman versus Richard Smith. Drew is 6-0. He's fighting on Saturday. And then our buddy Henry Lundy is going for the WBC Continental American Lightweight title in an 8-round special attraction. That is on Saturday, the 17th. We'll cover that fight next week on our broadcast. But some big fights. But before we get into the bulk of our broadcast, which is going to be the middleweight division. Oh, real quick program note. Ferreira won by unanimous decision. We'll get more into, like I said, we'll go back to that fight. We're gonna be in a series now. Actually, we're gonna be interviewing some fighters, but we're also gonna be talking about the divisions. Now, there are divisions upon divisions upon divisions. We have all these governing boxing boards, and I am sick of them. The WBA, the WBC, the IBF, the WBO, BoxRec, Boxing News, they all say this is what the divisions are. No. Sick of that. I don't care about the WBA. I don't care about the WBC. I don't care about the IBF. I don't give a crap about the WBO. They smell like BO. I don't care about the division. I don't care about the sanctioning bodies. there should be only one body that says this is the best. And that is the magazine of Kings that is it's called The Ring Magazine. Great publication. It is the boxing, this is their title, the Boxing Bible. Great articles. I've read them. Some great stuff. And we go by Monsoon Live when we talk about boxing. We're talking about the Ring Magazine, what they define as a weight class. So if you hear, when we talking about the big fights in, say, the middleweight division, which we're going to look at next, it is the Ring Magazine's champs. The Ring Magazine's deciding ones. But that is my take. If you have a problem with that, I'm sorry. I go by the Ring Magazine. That is what the Ring Magazine champ is. That's who it is. But let's move on. We have a big fight in the middleweight division, which we're about to talk about, which is Triple G and David Lermack, the number 1 and also the number 4 pound for pound fighter versus the number 4 fighter for Triple G's IBF and WBA titles. Now, this fight is going to be a knockout. It's going to be a slobber knocker. Sorry, JR, we're stealing it, but it's going to be a heck of a fight. This is a legitimate fight where you're going to see some of the best. Let me pull it up. We got to talk about the middleweight division, but this fight has every makings to be a slugfest. I am picking, and this is going to air after the fight, but I'm picking Triple G to pick up a win. Coughlin is just freaking dominant, and him versus Cotto. Please be freaking amazing. But we know Cotto. We know where he stands. Whatever. Anyway, the middleweight division. The middleweight division is one of the. It's one of my favorite divisions. There are a couple divisions that I like, that I really focus on. The first one being the middleweight division, because one of the best boxers in the middleweight division era, Bernard Hopkins, executioner, who now competes at light heavyweight. Just a great boxer. I also look at the light heavyweight, and I also look at what is called by the Ring Magazine called the cruiserweights. I'd be boxing at the cruiserweight division, around the 200 pound, between 200 and 175. My fighting goal is to get down to 175 to maybe even 168 to be considered a super middleweight. But we're going to talk about these fighters. These are the top 10 fighters on the list from In Ring Magazine. First of all, Miguel Cotto. 40-4, 33 knockouts. He went toe-to-toe with Pacquiao. He fought Mayweather. He beat Sergio Martinez, who was the middleweight champion. Great fighter, technical, just a sound fighter. This guy is amazing. He's going to face Alvarez in a couple of weeks. Going to be a great fight. Yes, he deserves to be the champ. But if he survives the fight that's coming up with him, he needs to face the winner of the number 1 rated fighter, which is Triple G. Danny Golovkin. 33-0, 30 knockouts. This guy punches. When he punches, you feel it next week. He puts people down. He's an amazing fighter. And he is ranked number 1 right behind Cotto. Behind him, one of the lesser known fighters. He's becoming very popular. He's had 2 losses, 1 draw, but 34 wins, 24 knockouts. Andy Lee. Andy Lee, another from Ireland, a good overall boxer. He comes at you to the body and then ding, will get you. One guy, I don't know why he's number 3, but he He's a good fighter. He fought our buddy Gabriel Rosero. Peter Quillin, 32-1 with 23 knockouts. Guess what? I feel he should be in the number 4 spot, because the number 3 spot belongs to the man that will be fighting this weekend against Triple G, which is David Lirmack, who is 34-2-0. He fought Gabriel Rosero. Amazing fighter as well. I mean, he just pounded King Gabriel. I was like, what? Just got beat. And then butting out the top 5, Billy Joe Sanders, 22-0, 12 knockouts. A really just all-around great fighter. Technically sounded as well, and just belongs on there. Another up-and-coming fighter that we're going to keep our eyes on. Those are the top 5. We're not going to go all the way through the list in the middleweight division, but Chris Eubank Jr., 19-1, 14 knockouts. He's an up-and-coming fighter as well that we got to watch too. Great skill. Got to work on the chin and work on his defense. That's my opinion. So, how I would rank the middleweight division. Yes, me. I'm going to just give you the top 5 in this order. Number 1, the champ, I got to give it to Triple G. Honestly, I would put Triple G as number 1, Miguel Cotto as Triple G's the champ, Cota's number 1 ranking. Number 2, unfortunately, I got to actually put David Lirmack. Andy Lee goes to number 3. And Billy Joe Sanders goes to number 4. And I would put Peter Quinn at number 5. That's my view on the middleweight division. Okay? So, that's that is it on the middleweight division. If you don't agree with me, I encourage you, please, at the end of this video, comment. Tell me what you think. Next week, we'll wrap up those fights that we've talked about. But now it's time for the closing thought. And as you can tell, we are in boxing mode. Monsoon Live, just give you guys a quick history on this show. We built this show on weather. Guess what? People don't care about the weather if they're watching it in Ohio. There are people in Chester County that may watch it, they don't care. We're going to still keep the weather. That's going to be part of our staple, and that will be, like we just did, quick forecast for everybody. Unless there's a major weather event, you better believe we're going to cover it, but it'll be a separate show. We are more into the boxing world, as you can tell. I'm trimming down. I've been running a lot and being very healthy. And in my trip home this past week, with all this stuff, hanging out with my buddy and my executive producer, who does our amazing graphics, the stuff that he does, we thank him. Really got me thinking we're going to be cracking down, and you're going to see a lot of changes coming up in the next few weeks. And I encourage you to hold on tight and enjoy this transformation that is waiting for us. And we got a couple cool segments coming up for you. I'm excited because my executive producer said, hey, we're going to add these little snippets and you're going to love this. So, for all of us here at Monsoon Live, it's one of our short shows because we got some great fights coming your way next week. A program note for everybody. On the 24th, we will be honoring one of the Hall of Famers. It's his anniversary. We want to honor him, and that will be my father. We're going to do something a little special for you guys at the top of our broadcast. But nothing long, will be something short. But for all of us here at Monsoon Live, I am the chairman. We hope you guys have a great week. Keep it real and keep your hands up. Protect yourself at all time because you never know when the punches are going to be thrown. Keep it real, guys. Later.